Hi guys, I know I need a haircut badly, but anyway, I've got a pretty sexy guitar here with me today, and this one is mine actually. It's a PRS SC58. It's a stripped version, but at the first glance it's hard to tell because it has the bird inlay, so it looks pretty much like the ordinary SC58. I think the only difference is really the binding that you get on the neck. Otherwise, the top is super, super flamey, so, to me, there's really not that much difference. And let me give you my first impressions. I think this is a great guitar. Um, if you watch my previous videos, you know I'm a more of a vintage kind of guy. I like old tellies or tellies that kind of look and sound vintage. I love Les Pauls, and this obviously resembles a Les Paul a little bit. And many people just, compare the SC58 to, say, a custom shop historic Gibson Les Paul. And to me, this comparison isn't really that valid. I mean, this guitar isn't trying to be a vintage guitar. Sure, the shape is similar to a Gibson, but, otherwise it's a pretty modern guitar. It has a lot of modern hardware on it. And to me, it does its own thing. It sounds like its own thing. It doesn't try to imitate anything, in my opinion. And if someone, told me, well, what do you think is better, a Gibson Custom Shop Historic or PRS SC58? You're not comparing apples to apples. They're two totally different guitars. If you love Gibsons, I mean, the Les Paul is such an iconic guitar. If you love the look of the Les Paul and all the history that's behind it, you need to have a Les Paul. This is not going to be a substitute for a Gibson Les Paul. On the other hand, if you want a superbly made instrument which sounds great, looks great, and is super playable and quite reliable in like a live situation, there's really nothing wrong with this guitar. I think you should definitely consider it, but not as a substitute to a Les Paul, but rather as something that you should have maybe alongside a Les Paul. Okay, let me just tell you a little bit more about this guitar. The neck profile, it's similar to like a 59 type of Les Paul. I have a 2011 Traditional Plus, I think, which has a very similar neck. I would say it's something in between like a 50s and a 60s neck. Pretty rounded C, not too fat, not too skinny, feels great. The pickups are very sought after 5708s, and I have to tell you that the neck pickup, I think it's one of the best neck humbuckers I've ever heard. It does have a vintage vibe. It has a lovely top end, which to me is synonymous with a vintage BAF. A lot of people think of vintage PAFs as really like thick sounding, and I think that's totally wrong. Like the thick sound is what you get if you just crank your amp and maybe just turn down your tone knob. But the vintage PAFs, to me, they all are pretty bitey and they all have a lot of beautiful top end. And this is no different. And it just has the most amazing attack I've ever heard on a humbucker. It's superb, seriously. In the bridge position, it's not my favorite pickup. I think there are better bridge pickups, but these two pickups sound great when you combine them together in like the middle position. My favorite sound on this guitar is either the neck pickup, or if you turn the tone knob on the neck pickup just to make it sound a little bit woolier, and then you just turn down the volume on the bridge pickup just a little bit and leave the tone wide open, and then you put it in the middle position. Man, it's tone heaven. I'll try and demonstrate that in a little bit. So to me, great guitar. I'm super happy with it. I think it's going to be a keeper. Let's go and check the sound samples. This guitar fucking rocks. The amp does not, I know about it, but you know, it's COVID-19, tough times, quarantines, social distancing, gear distancing, unfortunately. But yeah, well, what can I do? The guitar though is awesome, it plays great, it looks great. If you have a chance, give it a go. I'm super happy with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.